Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse Pregame Show with my special guest, Quis of Sports Vibes TV. What's up, brother?
How's everything going, George? How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. A little rushed. Trying to make everything happen before game starts. You got to remember, here it's 3 hours ahead.
Yeah.
And everything kind of jams up on you. But apologies to the chat. Apologies to everybody who's watching. We got a late start today. Let's see. I mean, right now it looks like we got a couple of good things to talk about. One of them is going to be: is this the last chance for Reddish? I mean, that's a major topic. We've been talking about it in different ways, but we have even more information now to discuss it. And then the next thing is, what's up with Quickley? There seems to be a lot of Quickley doubters out there in Knicks Nation right now. So we'll discuss that. And then, of course, we'll preview the game. It's the last preseason game of the 2022-23 season. The Knicks are 2-1. Would have been nice if they had a chance to finish perfect. But they didn't. They kind of collapsed in that fourth quarter. What were your feelings about that fourth quarter there, Quis?
Yeah, that fourth quarter was rough. You didn't like to see the second unit stumble the way they did, but once again, it's preseason, so hopefully they'll be able to rebound. You saw the Pacers; they really tried to attack iHeart in either the pick and roll, pick and pop situations. So that's something that we're gonna have to not address per se, but be mindful of, because if that becomes an issue, at least we have some centers on the roster that can kind of step in. You saw that Cam in that fourth quarter, for like the last 5 or 6 minutes of that quarter, he started to come alive, and everything was kind of clicking for him until Mathurin was able to pick his pockets and go down for that dynamic windmill dunk. So it was trending in the right direction, and then it just came to a screeching halt. And then with Immanuel Quickley, his shot just wasn't falling. And in that fourth quarter, I think he was a little bit too greedy with that either the last or second to last shot, where he was kind of looking for his shot too much as opposed to looking for the right shot. So definitely some things the guys have to work on. But to me, I'm not gonna jump off a cliff per se, because once again, you got to remember it's preseason. Try not to get too up and try not to get too low.
Exactly. You and I, we have a very similar sentiment about it. The one thing about iHeart, I was surprised to hear him say that they hadn't really practiced, the defense to defend a stretch big, considering that he's one.
Exactly right.
He hadn't had that experience in the past. But he really hasn't played that much. In the Clippers, he didn't play much in the first part of the season. Then he came on like in March, towards the end of the season. He started really hitting, and then he got some more floor time. But foul trouble keeps him off the floor. So maybe he just hasn't really encountered having to deal with those kind of guys in the past. And whoever was starting, or the other center on whichever squad he was on, probably maybe had that assignment. So hopefully he'll make that adjustment, because what was his name? Batazi?
Yeah.
Man, he ate him up. He ate him up, and
he cooked us last year in one game too, didn't
he? He did. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that just loves to feast on the Knicks. Yeah. So we'll get into that. It was. I found it interesting that the game really sapped all. I mean, from what I can tell, all of the energy of the Knicks fans. I was surprised that they reacted that strongly to it. A bad 6 minutes throws out,
George, you got to remember, it's been a long time since we've seen some Knicks basketball. So emotions are running high. Everybody's ready for games that actually count, games that actually matter in the win-loss column. So they're looking for things to discuss and to, micro-analyze and things like that. So it's just part of the course. You have a fan base as big as the Knicks fan base. There's going to be a vocal minority that are going to, find issue with certain things.
Yeah. I that's got to be it. We're just so snake bitten, that anything that isn't stellar, spectacular, we immediately start panicking. And I can relate to that. I can definitely, obviously relate to that. Before we get going here, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining us. I see Alexa Destroyer holding it down. Best mod around. Thank you so much, brother.
I like that.
Yeah. Adele Chapman. Got Cameron Goldberg. Geraldine McIver. Good to see you. Still Dre. Awesome, man. We got a nice little turnout here. Drew Licata and 90s Knicks. Let's go. Let's go, 90s Knicks. Connor Tulin was at, he was here earlier. And Jay's Beers. Jay's Beers. Lions of Judah. I like that one. All right. Well, let's get to the Cam situation here. Before we really get going on this thing, is there anything in specific about Cam that you are finding worrisome?
The lack of urgency, I think. If you look at that steal by Mathurin towards the end of the game, that is a clutch moment, and it's a moment where you would hope Cam Reddish kind of steps up and shows why he could be a key piece on this team. And I think he was a little bit, lackadaisical in his approach and trying to protect the ball, especially in a moment like that. So that was a little bit troublesome. The fact that he hasn't been able to knock down his shot.
Do you think he lacks situational awareness? Is that what you're?
He may. That might be exactly why he was a little bit nonchalant during that possession. And also you look at the poor shooting numbers and the fact that Tibbs says, we need shooting out there, especially if he's going to start or even find a role out there with the second unit. He has to have some consistency with his shot and his shot mechanics. You see him put the shot up and it varies from attempt to attempt. So that's somewhat concerning as well. I mean, you look at what he's been able to do defensively. I'm not concerned, in that area. But I think if you look at what Cam has to do to be special, he has to be able to be a difference maker on both sides of the ball. So if he's not going to be able to knock down the shot with any consistency, it's going to be difficult for him to find minutes, because we can see what he can do when he's able to create for himself. I think the best moments for Cam offensively was when he was able to attack the basket and try to finish around the rim. And he made 2 difficult shots, but if he's not going to be able to knock down the 3 or knock down mid-range jump shots, it's going to be hard for Tibbs to put any trust in him out there.
Yeah, I think that his defense, I like that he's constantly looking for the steal. Definitely love that. I don't feel as a team overall we've been that good at it in the past couple of seasons. We've had moments here and there, but in general, like, RJ's not a big steals guy. Either is Randall, and those two get the majority of the minutes, in the whole league. Fournier has a nice nose for a steal here and there, and it seems like Brunson might as well, but he's smaller. It's tougher, and he's not like he's a speed demon either. Like some of those small guys just whip around and steal a ball like that. And then Mitch is a pretty good, decent for a center for steals. So, but in general, our starting unit isn't that great for steals. So it's nice to have the bench come in and inject some of that, and Cam does try to bring you that. The problem is sometimes he'll go for the steal and then he's out of position, and then that results in a transition break for the team on the other end. And as you can see, the Pacers just cooked us on the break last game. Outdid us by 12 points or so on the fast break, which is shocking. So I really do think this. I'm wondering, because I've been wondering about this guy for so long, Cam Reddish. Because I saw him play in high school. Some people thought he was the number 1 prospect back then. Then he played with Duke. He disappeared in big moments with Duke. So it's like, what the hell? What the hell is happening with this guy? Does he? And then when you were talking about that, I was thinking, his lack of situational awareness. It's also just seems like when someone has such great talent, such great ability, they don't have to worry so much about the situation of the game, because they'll get theirs, when they're playing with much lesser competition. But at this level, yes, he has all the physical tools, but look how much more RJ's outperforming him, because RJ's got it up here. He understands situational moments. He understood that moment against the Lakers when he was driving up the last game they played against them last season, and he just saw the floor was open and he slipped past AD, slipped past everybody for that dunk. That was wonderful. And he has moments like that. He gets it. I feel like Cam doesn't get it, and RJ's only going to get better at that on top of it. So he's already much more situationally aware. We're talking about game situation, where you are on the court. where you are in the possession. That kind of situational awareness is what I'm talking about. I think he's got to develop that part. But a lot of times that part comes with floor time. What's your best hope? I mean, right now, Cam is out of the rotation. Let's just be realistic here.
You would assume so, yep.
Yeah, he's out. Cam and Deuce are the two that are out of the rotation. We know the starters that are starting today, which actually, let me get to that. The starters that are starting today are basically going to be the starters for the season. Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitch Robinson. There's still debate. Then today, Quentin Grimes does return. He won't be starting, that's for sure. And then the question becomes, will he ever start? That kind of impacts Cam, but it kind of doesn't. But if Quentin Grimes is not starting, then he's definitely in that second unit. And that second unit is IQ, D Rose, which we saw the lack of him last game.
Yep.
Grimes, Obi, and iHeart. That's it. I mean, there might be moments where someone tweaks an ankle or whatever happens, and that creates an opportunity for Cam and Deuce to get some minutes.
Are you concerned about the size with that second unit, though? Seeing that we don't really have a true wing?
A little bit. Maybe that's where Cam does get pick up some minutes. When we do need some length in that second unit, we do need like a true wing, and Fournier doesn't have it that game because we've seen games like that, and that's where those are the moments that Cam's going to get opportunities. It's great that you pointed that out. How else do you see Cam cracking this thing?
I mean, it would have to be an unfortunate injury or some sort of trade in which Cam isn't involved, especially with the way he's played over the first 3 games of the preseason.
Yeah. Well, today he has a good opportunity to flesh out his CV. If he can come out today and finally have one of those games like Obi had 2 games ago, and IQ even had 2 games ago.
The thing is, really, he even have an opportunity though, George. Because with Grimes coming back, you don't expect Grimes to get big minutes. But if you look at the game against the Pacers, not too many players, down that roster really got any playing times. Jericho Sims, he only played 2 minutes. So if they're going to do some sort of a dress rehearsal to get prepared for the regular season, you would expect Fournier to see some time, and you would expect Grimes to try and get, maybe at least 10 to 15 minutes. So where would that leave any minutes in this game for Cam? 4 or 5 minutes? Is that going to be enough time for him to really make a dent? He's been given, extended play over the first 3 to now reduce his minutes to maybe 5 to 10 minutes in this game. It really doesn't give me much confidence that he'll be able to make any waves.
I think that Thibs is going to try to find at least 10 to 12 minutes for Cam tonight. And partly because I'm sure he's curious. He wants to settle that for sure about Cam. There's just management issues when it comes to Cam. This is last year. What are we going to do with him contract wise? How can we trade him if we don't even play him? So I think today he will find. I think Grimes actually is the one who's gonna. He may not play that much, maybe 10. Maybe he'll play 10 minutes. Let's say RJ comes out and he's playing great. Has a great first half like he has had. I can also see RJ probably sitting out most of that second half. Same goes for I would say that for the entire starting unit. If the entire starting unit plays as well and connected as they played the last game. And I started seeing it in those first couple of games. If they continue to play that well, there's no real need for Leon to keep trotting them out in the last preseason game of the year. I don't know, but Thibs is a special animal.
Exactly. You never know with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because look at these stats here. This is from the last game. 21 minutes. He was a minus 22, the game worst. 2 fouls, 2 turnovers. He did get a block, did get a steal. He got 1 dime, 3 boards.
Nice assist too.
Yeah, what was that one again?
He was able to get into the paint, and he found IQ as he was cutting over to the right corner.
Oh yeah. God, I think if he does more of that, that's going to help him.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, like I actually have more faith in his shooting than in the other aspects than the other aspects of his game. In terms of, I know the shooting's going to be there. I know it's gonna once it clicks, and he's kind of a rhythm guy. We've talked about this, especially if he's on the court. If he gets any court time with RJ again, that could help him. But if he starts, if he gets to the free throw line and hits his free throws, if he gets boards, if he makes a couple of assists, gets a steal, like if all the hustle stats are there for him, that's going to help his resume, and then the points will come. Is there anything in specific in terms of his shot that you feel he needs to, or shot selection?
Oh, he needs
do you
to
feel
definitely
like,
take better shots.
what kind of shots do you think he should be looking for?
He should be looking to get to the paint more often, as opposed to settling for contested deep twos. I think if you've seen him, most of his highlight film from his time with the Knicks is him getting into the paint, and I think he's one of the players on this team that can get into the paint at will. You know, we don't have too many guys like that. So with Cam, I think he should be trying to get into the paint, get a rhythm. You know, if he's getting fouled, he's able to knock down his free throws, and then start to look to extend his range a little bit. Because right now he's kind of just chucking, and it's not working. You know, get into a rhythm. Yeah, get into a rhythm. I mean, and also you have to look at the coach as well, because we don't know what Cam's role is in the offense, so he's trying to figure it out. And you know, you put all those together, and it leads to poor shooting performances. So if he can put the ball on the floor, get to the paint, and when the defense collapses, try and find people open like he did in that play with Immanuel Quickley, then I think that's a way he can try to find his role on this team and get into a better rhythm and try and start to chip away at some minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him. So, you know, there was one time, the thing is, he makes this decision, and then like he doesn't make a quicker adjustment. Like, he was trying to split the defenders to get into the paint from going from the top of the key into the free throw line, and they just clogged it up, and he slammed into them. And you remember that one play?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, just like take a step back, fake your shot, and then there's two guys are on you. Someone else is open.
Exactly.
So that's the kind of stuff that I'm sure Thibs is looking for. I mean, because he is the one true wing that we have on this team. Even though RJ is a wing, but he's the one true one. So do you think? Now, to answer the question, is this the last chance for Cam Reddish on the Knicks?
This game, or I can't say
this game. This game, and kind of, I mean, in a way, it is this game. I mean, this game.
I can't say definitively this game, because you see how Quentin Grimes has been kind of a wild card with his health, and we don't know what offers the Knicks may receive for Evan Fournier. So I think with those two variables, there could still be an opportunity for Cam. But I think if we're asking, is this the point, or is this the last chance for Cam to actually outplay guys and on the court where health isn't factored in, then most likely, this is probably his last chance.
Yeah, I think it is, and I hope that pressure doesn't give us a repeat of last game's performance for him. I'd like to see more of like that little 5-minute stretch that you were referring to in that fourth quarter, where he seemed to finally settle down.
Yeah, and then Quick got me tight at the end of that little 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about Quick now.
And then Cam let me down immediately after, because Cam broke down the defense, found Quick for the three, and then I'm like, all right, we need more of that. The team is looking okay with Cam with the rock in his hand. And then right after that, Quick forced a bad three. And I'm like, all right, you see Cam is cooking. Why you didn't pass the ball back to Cam? And then the play right after that, Cam gets cookied. I'm like, it's one of those games. I was like, this is something else, man. Yeah. Cam, you couldn't hold me down?
I know. It quickly, he was definitely a disappointment in that game. From an offensive standpoint, he felt people were saying, oh, he was selfish. He's just always looking to chuck it. Excuse me. And unfortunately, They were right. That's how he was that game. Thing is, Immanuel Quickley we can't forget who he is and what he's done. I sent you and JD that stat, that chart earlier today. From last season. I don't have it here. Last season, this is from Cleaning the Glass. This is all point guards and combos that have played at least 1,500 minutes. Of all those, the differential from when he's on the court and he's off the court. Number one in the league in point guards and combos was Darius Garland with a plus 13.9, 98th percentile. Number two was Steph Curry, 13.0, 97th percentile. And number three was Immanuel Quickley at a 12.2 plus for a 96th percentile. So we got to cool down. IQ's going to come around. He may be trying something right now. For all we know, Thibs told him to be more aggressive. We don't know. Because the first couple games, he was doing a nice job finding his teammates, making passes. He was helping unlock Obi, things like that. Yes, he was selfish last game, and it didn't work. And they also that whole unit looked disinterested.
Out of sync.
Yeah, they looked out of sync and disinterested, and they struggled in the first half as well. Because I think the first unit handed them a 10-point lead, and they kind of coughed that up, or a 12-point lead. I think it was a 12-point lead in the first half and a 10-point lead in the second half. And both in the second unit coughed up both leads and then completely gave it up in that fourth quarter. So I'm calling for more patience from the fans' point of view on IQ, and mostly because he happens to have a potentially elite ability that his range is possibly up there with the elites of this game. It's not there yet. Well, we've seen glimpses of it. But this is the season where he should really make that leap right now if he's going to be that kind of guy. So that's the thing. Let's just hold off on writing Immanuel Quickley off of this team.
I mean, I hear you on the range part, George, but he's got to get that 3-point percentage up higher before we even start talking about him extending, the range. They were talking about a 4-point line and things of this nature. We need him to start shooting more like a sharpshooter before we start getting crazy. And I agree.
Yeah, I agree. He needs I'm calling for that now. This is the time to do it. We need to see that. We need to see him, hit 4 out of 5 in a game. Go hit, shoot 60+% for like a nice 5-6 game stretch from the 3-point line. He needs to light it up like that. Unfortunately,
and start knocking down the mid-range too, because he was abysmal in the mid-range. Normally he has that floater he can live on, but he was missing the floater. He took a mid-range jump shot from like the left elbow, I believe. He wasn't able to knock that down. So he definitely had a poor shooting night, and he kind of compounded on that with bad shot selection. But like you said, it's still the verdict is still out on him. It's preseason. You can't really hold too much weight. You just hope he's able to bounce back in tonight's game. Let's hope that.
All right. Let's see. Shout out to the chat. Let's take a little moment here. Hey, if you guys haven't subscribed yet to Into the Knicks-Verse, please do so and turn on the notification bell so you get the alert of when we go live or drop new videos here, and subscribe to Sports Vibes TV as well. And during the season, we'll be doing some pre-games on Sports Vibes TV as well. Plus, if you want to talk about the content you'll be putting out this season, Quis?
We'll be doing video breakdowns, rumors, news, analysis. So make sure you're subscribed to Sports Vibes TV if you're looking for some more Knicks content here on YouTube.
Awesome. And also, hit that thumbs up button for us.
Yep.
Very much appreciated. And the Knicks-Verse merch store is open. The link is in the chat there. Check it out. There's a $5 off on your first purchase for everybody. There's some cool stuff. There's snapbacks and dad hats and t-shirts and hoodies and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, make sure you get your merch. Mine is on the way.
That's right. Do it. All right, let's get back let's look at the chat. See if anyone's made any interesting comments here.
Give a quick shout out to a Nudie 25. He says the Mets lose, Quis goes MIA. LMAO. Welcome back, Quis. I didn't go MIA. I just had to, reflect on the season real quick.
Yeah, it was painful for me, man.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was a very painful day. Very painful. I wish. I don't want to get into it. Right
yeah. Let's not bring it. Let's not bring down the mood any further.
Yeah. We got a super chat over here. Awesome, man. 2189. Oh, EC2189. Thank you so much for the contribution. The last game was to burn the second unit, dispel complacency. We learned a lot from tough losses than routine wins. They have to get used to more minutes. That is true. They were gassed. They played. I think they came in towards the end of the third quarter, the last third of that, and I think then played the rest of the fourth.
Way. Yep.
Yeah, I think that also partly. I think that's why they kind of like looked disinterested, because they were probably waiting to get subbed out, and Thibs just keeps leaving.
Like, nope.
He's like, all right, you guys want to see the young core play? There you go.
Helpline.
Here you go. That is so true. That is so true. Thanks for the contribution, brother. Yeah, totally agree with that. But you know what? Hey, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. I mean, we were shorthanded that game. Yeah. Rose wasn't going to play, and Grimes still wasn't available, so should have been ready to play. Definitely.
And it was a good test too. You had a guy in Matherin out there who's a potential guy that some say could be an all-star. So to see how they can match up against him, I think was definitely nice to see.
Yep. Foxy and I, we were the ones who called Matherin. Actually, Foxy's the one who first turned me on to Matherin. Like, more I watched him, I was like, this guy is for real. And the prognosticators were a little bit off on him, but that's neither here nor there. I guess. Shout out to him. I'm happy he did well. Yeah. Let's go to the next. Here, let me hide this. And all right, man. So this was interesting. Did you see this?
Yep. Top 100.
Yeah. What'd you think of this?
I mean, I think I don't remember where they fall in regards to the other players around the league, but I think if you're looking at the Knicks, I think that is pretty much how the pecking order should be for the most part. If you're looking at this roster, and I think that's also how the field goal attempts have actually broken down throughout this preseason. You've got RJ Barrett, I think, taking the most shots. Then you have Brunson behind him, and then Randall in third. So I think this is the way a lot of Knicks fans saw it, and this is the way it should be if the Knicks are going to be good this season. I
gotta say, I was really fucking relieved.
That they're giving RJ some respect?
Finally giving our guy some love. I mean, come on. This guy he had the most 30-plus point games of anyone under the age of 22 last season. And I think and in terms of beginning to a career, he's up there with LeBron and Kobe. I can't remember the exact stats and stuff, whatever, but he's got elite stats. His efficiency was shit. That we know. But look what he's doing this season already. I mean, his efficiency numbers are insane this year. I tweeted something out, a pretty great tweet, actually, if I do say so myself. I should have had up here. RJ's preseason stats are eye-opening. Not only is he averaging 20 minutes a game, 20 points per game in just 20 minutes a game, he's averaging almost 49% field goal percentage, 47% from the three-point line, and over 90% from the free throw line. That's a 50, almost 50, 90. That's fabulous. Now, is he going to stay up there? Highly doubt it. No way in hell. Highly doubt it. But just to go over a couple of things here, like Bleacher Report said about Julius.
George, time out, George. What you doing? You're over here clipping Knicks Muse tweets, but you're not clipping your own tweets. Why we weren't looking at that tweet?
I know. I didn't have it set up here. I had this one here because I thought this was more interesting. The 73 for Randall is pretty good. His highest rankings ever had is 33. Lowest rankings 111. Basically, they're calling him a speedballing playmaker.
What? Say that over time?
Yeah. Yeah, it says this placement does not exaggerate just how bad Julius Randle was last season. The shot selection, shot making, the defense, the demeanor. It was a masterclass in comprehensive regression. Yes, and we had to suffer all through it here this last season. So much so, not even a strong closing kick softens the blow. Now this might hyperbolize the bleakness of his outlook. Randle has value as a speed balling playmaker and showed in 2021 he possesses a defensive pulse. We did see a big drop off in his defense from his all-NBA year to last year. If he can buy a second or third in command role, which we see he has been, and we got to shout him out. I thought he's been. The first game was a little rocky. Then the second game, he had a really good second game. But the third game, man, he really came on. I love how he's picking up assists without having to do much too. And I don't know if you saw, but there was they made adjustments. I don't know if you saw the post game that I did, but there was a play where, Julius got the ball. First it was from Brunson to Fournier, then to Julius, a bounce pass to him. And he picked it up. He was about to drive, and he saw two guys coming at him. He saw Turner, who was on the baseline. You couldn't even see Mitch in the frame. He was in the right corner. When was the last time Mitch Robinson was in the right corner on an offensive play?
Never.
And then when Turner stepped towards Randle to close him off, Mitch just snuck in. Boonk. Dunk. Beautiful assist. Easy play. No congestion in the paint for Julius. It gave him vision. He's able to see what he can do. Of game one, he was trying to do the same thing. And both Cam and Mitch were clogging the paint and not letting Randle have any time to operate. So I think if he can buy into that mentality, he could really be something that he could really actually get this team back to, I think, the 6th seed, especially when you factor in Brunson and all that. So, yeah. And about RJ, which is amazing that RJ is 59th, considering he wasn't even any top 100 lists ever in his career, and he shows up at 59. Barrett still has an incredibly high ceiling entering year 4, especially if he can improve. We got a super chat. Hey, thanks so much. Sheer brilliance, Knicks. Facts. Finally, some respect. GM showing some too. Yes, absolutely.
Unless it's trade talks, then not showing any respects in those regards.
Yeah. Though, remember, there was that whole survey where, it wasn't like an official survey, where GMs felt RJ had more value than Tyler Hero.
Yeah, but real life proved otherwise.
Yeah, I know.
Not by play, at least, but by contract.
By contract, yeah. But it could also be
Don't say market.
I don't see any Tyler Hero jerseys selling like the way RJ's jerseys sell.
I hear you.
And that other stuff, but yeah.
And also, George, you mentioned RJ Barrett's field goal percentage, but Julius Randle's field goal percentage isn't too far off either. I think he's shooting like 0.04 points lower or something like that, like 48.4.
Yeah. He's also having a very efficient preseason. Absolutely. It shows how when you have someone on the court like Brunson who can make the tough decisions for your guys, it makes the other guys like much easier. And like Randle isn't trying to create something out of nowhere. He knows if things go wrong in a play, he's got guys he can depend on to get them the ball. Hey, hit that thumbs up button for us, guys. Very much appreciate that. Shout out. Thank you, Sheer Brilliance, for the super chat. That was awesome. And Knicks 100 AGM. Good to see you, brother. Kept Giggles. What's up?
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the support.
Yeah. We got a little dating thing here.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I can log in and join the fight.
Lex was all over it. Thanks, brother.
All right, cool.
Thanks so much. So let's get to the next slide here. All right, the next slide. Oh, we actually talked about this slide already. We talked about this one already. All right, this was an interesting one. So Fred Katz put out a great article today in The Athletic, which you guys should definitely check out. He spoke about to key players, like what they have to do, what we can expect from them. He was answering questions. I think these were questions that people asked him.
Like a mailbag.
Yeah, like a mailbag. Exactly. Trying to see if I can pull it up here. Here. Okay. So Cam Reddish, they asked, how will he be deployed defensively? They asked. Well, you can take that one if you want, Quis.
How will Cam Reddish be deployed defensively, or Grimes?
Grimes. Sorry.
Well,
I got Cam Reddish on the head.
It's all good. Well, if they're gonna use Grimes as a defensive weapon, I think you can look within the Eastern Conference. You look at teams who have guards that can, dominate and kill teams from the perimeter, and Quentin Grimes is a great answer for that. For them, you look at the Atlanta Hawks; they have Trae Young. He's someone that can go out there and defend and make life difficult for him. And I think he's also someone that can knock down the three. So you look at what he can do offensively, and you look at the effort he gives on a nightly basis defensively, and the fact that there are some issues with this backcourt defensively. So to have him on the roster and have him as a player that you can put out there in moments where you really need to stop. And I'm not going to say he's going to be a player's kryptonite or anything like that, but if you look at this roster, he's probably going to give that player the most difficulty out there on the court. And he's not perfect. He's still a young player, but I think he's shown the willingness to learn on defense, and he's also shown the ability to be, pretty good at the point of attack. So I think he's the best option defensively. And Tibbs, if he's not going to be in the starting lineup, he still has to find a way to have Quentin Grimes be a major impact on this team.
Yeah, his perimeter defense, he has a chance to be an elite perimeter defense. I think, a lot of times he has to. I think when he guards guys that are similar size to him or smaller, he definitely has a much bigger advantage. He struggles with bigger guards.
Yep.
That's why he's not really like a true wing per se. He's more of he's like a 3-and-D plus kind of a guy. Is that your phone or mine? I hear something.
You still hear it?
Yeah. That's so funny.
What was it? Like a vibration or actual ringtone?
I heard like a boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you guys heard it out there. Yeah, we just signed Kinjo. Interesting player. Not sure what he's going to do with us, but maybe he'll be a Westchester guy.
Westchester Knick addition.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, for example, he has said that he struggles guarding guys like Chris Middleton. He's a lot bigger guard.
Yeah,
he's a lot bigger forward. Yeah, he'll struggle with that. So in terms of his switchability, he can switch for moments, but he really is only there to guard guards.
Like against the Hawks, he'd be great. You could switch onto Trae or DeJounte Murray. Those are two guys I think he can give trouble to.
He would. Yeah, he would. We already talked about Cam. We actually had a whole section about him. Will he force himself onto the court? I hope he does.
We hope so. Fingers crossed.
I hope it's good for the team. It's good for the team to have guys like that are forcing their way on. Basically, like Obi. Obi is forcing his way into more minutes, into forcing Thibs rethinking his stance against small ball. I think he's forcing all of that, which is nice.
And he's forcing Julius Randle to play better.
He's beautifully said. Beautifully said. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, will he shoot well enough from the three? That was the main question that they asked there. In college, just so you guys have a little friend. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
In college, he averaged 41.7% from the 3-point line. That's what he averaged. Now, it wasn't a lot of attempts. It was only one attempt per game in this rookie year, and then his second season, it was 3.3 attempts. So it more than tripled. But even that, when it was 3.3, he averaged 39%. So he came in with the ability, the quote ability to shoot the three. But man, does it sometimes look scary.
Yeah.
Ooh. What's your feelings about Obi and his 3-point shot and just overall just getting more court time?
I mean, you've seen he's worked on it. He's definitely gotten better. But I mean, when they say will he shoot the three well enough, if you look at the guy that was starting over him last season, he only shot it at what, 31%. So if 31% was okay for Tom Thibodeau to allow him to play 33, 34, 36 minutes, then Obi, the bar is kind of set low. You don't want him to shoot 31%, of course, but it's not like he got a sharpshooter in front of him. So you'd hope he can shoot at least 34, 35% would be great. But I think it's going to be more than just will his shooting be enough to get him on the court. It's going to be the 3-point shooting and also his ability to defend. So if he's able to do those two in tandem and continue to be that dynamic player for us out there on the court, then he's definitely going to force himself into a larger role on this team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Obi's career 3-point stats are these 30.7. 30. Just below 31. Yeah, he has to shoot.
Round up. It's close enough. Oh, man. I mean, it's not great, but you can't say, well, he shoot well enough to get minutes if Julius Randle was out there shoot 31%. Come on.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, just to give him a little credit, he did finish the year in the last 16 games last season. 16 is a decent sample size, of which 8 of those he started. He shot 42.5% from the 3-point line. Man, if you have a guy with this kind of hops who can shoot 39% from the 3-point line, that's a sweet power forward to have out there who can.
George, Obi is never shooting 39% from 3 with volume. Maybe in stretches, I can get him that.
Yeah.
Well, he's not shooting 39%.
Well, he's not going to be.
Season.
Yeah, he's not going to be a Fournier volume guy. No, that's for sure. But I mean, when he's on the court and the shot comes his way, if he can hit it at 39%,
I'm not even saying that at Evan Fournier volume. That's at one end of the spectrum. I'm saying even with a regular average volume, he's not shooting 39%.
Yeah.
You think he can really shoot 39% from 3? I think he can be an average 3-point shooter, but 39% might be a stretch.
Like average
36, 37 might be a nice
37.
goal. Yeah, we can start with that.
Hey,
then we can walk our way up to 39%.
Yeah, 37 would be. Yeah, I mean that's what we need him to be.
If Obi shot 37% from the 3-point line, every team in the league would be on the phone right now trying to trade for him.
Well, get ready. By trade deadline, Obi will be doing that. I see it. What I love about him is he hasn't really changed his shot much. It's not like he went back and tweaked it. He did a little something. He did a little bit of something, more like refined it.
Yeah.
But he didn't change his shot. Like we saw RJ work on his 3-point shot.
Well, RJ didn't change his shot either. He kind of refined it, kind of
not this season, but from year 1 to year 2.
All right.
That one he made that switch. Then he just refined it again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's but man, that's what we need. 100%. Shout out to the chat. Salute, guys. I think the game is going to be starting pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. Let me put it on the TV.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, no. Somebody was calling me.
Oh, somebody was calling you.
Yeah, it was Grandpa. Whoopsie.
Oh, your grandpa. Oh,
yeah.
Gonna put him on.
See what's up with him. Right? I said it. Well, I can't put my grandfather on because he jumped ship. He's a Nets fan now, quote unquote. So we be beefing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he be beefing. He said he couldn't take the losing anymore.
Abuelo,
ship.
No.
I was like, yo, Grandpa, they still losing. What
no,
you mean?
Abuelo. No Nets.
Right?
Oh, man.
He's out of control, that guy.
He is out of control. Hey, so before we jump off of this, did you see? Oh no, not that one. What did I do? Did you see my prediction for wins?
47.
47. 47. How crazy do you think that is?
I think that's reasonable. I think I was in that ballpark too. I think I had around 45, 46 wins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It seems like 40, anywhere from 42 to 47 is feeling like the range. That's what I'm hearing around town. And by town, I mean
around town.
Yeah.
In the Knicks-Verse.
In the Knicks-Verse. That's exactly right. Let's see here. At this It screwed up my thing. I had this beautifully laid out. Oh, well.
Yeah. Gremlins.
47-35. That's what I had it at.
So where do you think we'd fall at 47 and 35? Do you think we'd be in play-in territory, or you think we'd actually be legitimate, people in the playoffs?
We would be if 47 wins would have been good enough for the 6th seed last season. I think the win losses are going to be kind of similar. There might actually be, I think they're going to be a little similar. I think if you win 47 games, that should be good enough to get you through to the playoffs without having to do a play-in.
To be at least a 6th seed. Okay.
Yeah, to be at least a 6th seed. That's why the 42, 43, 44, those are dangerous areas to be. That's definitely play-in territory. It all depends on, injuries and whatnot. I mean, look, last season, the Pelicans finished with less wins than us, got into the play-in and then got into the playoffs, and the perception is, they're such a much superior team than the Knicks. Knicks got 37 wins in the East, which was tougher. So it's all relative.
Well, we added Jalen Brunson. They added Zion. So
yeah. they got a lot better. Then Zion goes and rolls that ankle.
Yeah, that looked bad, man.
Yeah, I think he's shut down for the rest of the preseason. He'll be. They say he might be ready for the first game 1.
That's fingers crossed, because his foot couldn't handle his weight. So imagine his ankle having to take all of that mass, and he also exploded too in that same motion. So
yeah, well, I know he's so tough on his body. He just pounded, but that thing just rolled. It didn't land on anyone's sneaker and roll over. It was just rolled on its own.
I mean, sometimes those things happen depending on the way the shoe was made and how you put your foot down. But
yeah, I'm amazed he was able to continue playing at all.
Yeah. You saw how he ragdolled while he at the end of it? I thought he broke it the way he ragdolled. He was just like, he looked like what's his face when he got kicked out of Will Smith's crib in Fresh Prince. Looked like Jazz. He's just
Hey, Zion's gonna get some Hollywood movie at one point, so he was just
at some point
putting up there for his acting resume.
Well, hey, LeBron has his own studio, so sky's the limit.
Yeah. Let's see. How's the chat going before? Oh, the game just started. All right. God, I love that MSG floor. All right, guys. I am hoping for at minimum 42 wins at minimum. Be nice to be just at least 2 games over 500 for the whole season. But I really believe if all goes well, and by all goes well means enough goes well, because there's always going to be injuries, there's always going to be weird stuff. But if enough goes well, like for example, Randall adopting his new role and carrying over what he's been doing in the preseason into the regular season, and then Brunson, playing more like he played in those first 2 games, and RJ continues his efficiency increase, and then Fournier picks up where he left off last season. And
George, we didn't even get into that. The starters played well, and Brunson wasn't even out there firing on all cylinders.
He was actually not. He was actually the worst starter.
Mm-hmm. And the starting unit was still plus 10. Everybody in the starting unit was still plus 10 or better. So that's another good sign.
It's a very good sign. I mean, hope for the best, man.
Yep.
Hope for the best. So your win prediction is the final one?
I'll run with 45.
45.
Yep.
Quis is 45. I'm 47. Let's hope that I'm right.
Because if I'm right, that means we're in the play-in.
Yeah, we're in the play-in. Yeah. So, all right, the game is starting. Thank you guys for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow us both on Twitter and the channels, and turn on notification bells. Hit the thumbs up button for us. That'd be very much appreciated. And if you come up with any other ideas or thoughts later on, just drop them in the comments. I read them all. And they definitely help inform me what you guys are thinking. Sometimes we overlook stuff, which is great, or you create a new topic for us, which is awesome. We love that. Shout out to Lex the Destroyer, best mod around. Thank you so much, brother. And I think this is it. Want to say goodbye?
Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate the support. Make sure you check out the pre-games on my channel when we alternate, and also the Sunday stream with my NBA analyst, Stephen Fox, and I. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all the support.
Excellent. All right, and we will see you around the Knicks-Verse.